Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. In 2025, our queer stories have reached 11 million streaming views, and Queer News Tonight has been the most watched LGBTQ news and lifestyle show in the world.
We're proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the LGBTQ community. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Thursday, September 4th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell you this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show.
Hotspots Happening Out is one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, in the same model as PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ community.
We support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ community and want to inform and educate on the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture.
Our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience. Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 11,000 LGBTQ streaming stories. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our nonprofit 501c3 magazine, events, television, news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2025, more than 100 community leaders will host this show to support the LGBTQ community. Let's meet today's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Jason Nunez. Jason Nunez is a trailblazing leader, passionate entrepreneur, and fierce advocate for equality. He is president and CEO of the Greater Fort Lauderdale LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce, and as a third-generation minority Air Force veteran, he has served at the Pentagon, White House, State Department, and Department of Labor. Jason, Greater Fort Lauderdale LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce powers up September with multiple dynamic events. Tell me, what's happening out?
The Greater Fort Lauderdale LGBT Chamber of Commerce will kick off a vibrant September calendar packed with opportunities for learning and networking. On September 8th, members will attend Maximizing Your Benefits, a session designed to show how to leverage chamber resources fully. 2 days later, on September 10th, Drop Foundry will present a lunch and learn on AI optimization, offering insights into artificial intelligence trends and answer engine optimization, essentially for businesses aiming to be found by tools like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. The energy will continue on September 16th with the Chamber's monthly networking event at the United Church of Christ in Fort Lauderdale, highlighted by a special appearance from the Imperial Sun Court of all Florida. On September 23rd, the Community Connection event will spotlight the Chamber's Women Business Council, fostering new professional bonds. The Greater Fort Lauderdale LGBT Chamber of Commerce was formed with a mission to promote economic opportunity, equality, and inclusive tourism by connecting and supporting LGBTQ and allied businesses locally and globally. More details about all events and registration will be available at GFLGLCC.org. So September is the Chamber's membership drive month. So that's why we are jam-packed with a bunch of events to promote networking and the benefits of Chamber membership. It'll culminate in a casino-themed mixer networking opportunity in October. But for this time, this month, we're really offering an opportunity for our current members to refer, grow the Chamber, the economic impact of being a member. We've received so many testimonials of it, and we just really want to amplify, especially as so many people are trying to shut us down and remove LGBTQ from all things. we mean business, and we mean business SoFlo, and we will definitely amplify all of our business. And this membership drive, all of these events are for our members to amplify them.
Hearing that it's a membership drive makes a lot of sense, because like as someone who works in nonprofit world, like seeing 4 events in 1 month, I'm like, oh my God, you guys, you do that every month? How do you survive? How do you spend any time to sleep? You know,
Right.
So it sounds very fun.
Yeah, and at the end of the month, we'll have, the introduction of our Women's Business Council. One part of our community that is very much underserved is our women business owners. So the 4th week at our Community Connection is going to be our Women Business Mixer, where you get to meet our new council chair, Dr. Luisa Montoya, our co-chair, Diane Papafotis from the Pride Center, Women in Business, as well as the Advisory Council, who are heavy hitters, women-owned businesses within our community that are now going to be chamber representatives on our Women Business Council. So definitely join those events.
I'm particularly interested in the AI optimization workshop because as a small business owner myself and someone who is basically solo professional, referral from these engines can be important.
Absolutely.
And
Well,
I agree.
that's amazing. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the Greater Fort Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce September event. Let's welcome Dr. Bobby Huen, a world traveler, versatile in global affairs. Bobby provides an international perspective on current events. A PhD in conflict resolution, Bobby is a certified civil and family mediator and the founder of BH Conflict Resolution Services. Bobby, Breathing While Black and Trans launches in Miami on September 20th. Tell me, what's happening out?
on Saturday, September 20th, the McKinsey Project Inc. will host a launch party for Breathing While Black and Trans, a groundbreaking 4-part docuseries uplifting the voices of Black transgender individuals in South Florida. The event will take place at the Overtown Performing Arts Center, 1074 Northwest 3rd Avenue, Miami, Florida. Guests will arrive on a glamorous red carpet at 6 p.m., followed by a cocktail hour at 7 p.m. At 8 p.m., the premiere showcase will begin, introducing audience to moving stories of resilience, healing, and survival. The series highlights lived experiences of navigating homelessness, survival sex work, and the daily challenges of being Black and transgender in Miami. Attendees are encouraged to come dressed in any shade of purple and to bring a friend who can bring another friend. The evening promises not only art and storytelling, but also a space for empowerment and community. The McKinsey Project is a Black trans-led organization in South Florida that aims to uplift Black, transgender, and non-binary individuals ages 18 and up. For more details about the launch, visit themckinseyproject.org. I am loving this one. Black and trans individuals are severely underserved, and obviously they have the biggest target on their back, alongside with other trans individuals in all segments of society. And also, I'm actually happy that this is taking place in Overtown, because Overtown is a very under-showcased location in Miami. It is historically a Black neighborhood, and I am happy that events are taking place there now.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this because it's an opportunity for all of the LGBT community and all of our community to come together and rally around our Black and trans brothers and sisters and they and thems and the non-binary community. This is not just an event for Black and trans. This is an event for all of us to go as allies to support our Black and trans friends. And yeah, Overton, it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, no, it's a great area to do that in, and I agree with you that it's important we all stick together and not go into silos, but that we unite and go out and support groups, even if it's not a focus on our particular pillar in the community. I think it is very important. It's exciting that they're doing this at this time. But, I do surf and listen to all different news outlets, and it's scary with the anti-trans rhetoric that's going on out there, and we have to be supportive all around.
Oh yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's been scary to live in a Black trans experience for a long time. Like when I was at the task force hearing stories of Black trans people creating change, it was always these horrific stories. I remember one speaker, she would talk about how frequently she'd deal with kidney infections because she could never find a restroom that she was able to use in her city. Like, I'm very happily surprised and in some ways not shocked that this is based in Miami, like not just a black trans group, but a black trans led group for black trans. I'm like, this is wonderful. And I'm like, of course it should be based in the Miami area. Like, where else would you see so much of this? So we're so excited to see this. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Breathing While Black and Trans launch in Miami on September 20th. Let's welcome anchor Larry Farver. Larry has over 20 years of experience in human resources, acting, film, radio, TV, live events, parade float design, production, and casting. He is also a board member of the West Side Association. Larry, Woof and Wine to bring pups and people together on September 11th. Tell me what's happening out.
Sure, Alex. The city of Wilton Manors will host another annual Woof and Wine on Thursday, September 11th from 5 to 7 at Coahatchee Dog Park on the east side, located at 1975 Northeast 15th Avenue. Dog parents will gather for an evening where their pups will play freely in the doggy area, while owners will sip wine, enjoy appetizers, and connect with neighbors. Sponsored by the Three Bridges Neighborhood Association, this community event will combine fun, food, and furry friends in a welcoming setting. More details about Woof and Wine will be available at wiltonmanors.gov. Well, I know that I have missed the last few, so I'd like to attend, but it's a beautiful dog park. And not only is there parking right there at Coahatchee Park, but across at the boat ramp, and certainly a short walking distance if you know Wilton Manors from the, I'm going to say the area around Stork. So there is some shopping. It's walkable. You could take the circuit ride, but I'd encourage people to go out. Again, it's a nice way to just sort of socialize with your neighbors, enjoy the canines, and have a good evening.
Well, I mean, I was going to say.
Well, yeah, I mean, if I was not hosting or being an anchor on Queer News Tonight on the 11th, I would be there. You know, I love these sorts of events that are done here. It's always great to see the puppy events in Wilton Manors because we're such a dog town, you know. I will be checking if my significant other can bring our puppies, Enzo and Elio, there, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the four-legged pups at this event, and just, you know, interacting, wine community, just a safe space for the dogs. You know, it's one thing walking them on the streets, walking them in your backyard, but, you know, they need mingling and they need friends and they need to play as well. So I'm really looking forward to it. In the Park City ran. It's a beautiful park. Mm-hmm. Even if you don't have a dog, go to the park. I mean, it's a beautiful walk, and just watching. There's something about walking that park and the nature part of it, and then watching the dogs inside. I don't know. It just calms me.
Oh yeah,
and I love it.
The nature there. There's mangroves that are protected.
Yes.
And you don't see too much of that with all the development that South Florida and the greater Fort Lauderdale, Miami area have. So it's a nice protected piece of land. Hopefully it'll be protected forever, and it'll be a good night.
Exactly. Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Woof and Wine on September 11th.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, Alex Morash. Alex has served as editor-in-chief of Options Magazine, media director of the National LGBTQ Task Force, and press secretary for the Florida Democratic Party. Alex, Pride Skate Night to shine on September 9th at Xtreme Action Park. Tell me, what's happening out?
Sure thing. On Tuesday, September 9th, the LGBTQ community and allies will gather at Xtreme Action Park in Fort Lauderdale for Pride Skate Night, an evening of music, performances, and skating fun. The monthly event, held every second Tuesday, will run from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. and will benefit the 2026 Wilton Manor Stonewall Pride Parade and Street Festival. Guests will roll into the night with a general admissions tickets priced at $15, which includes skate rentals. For those seeking an upgraded experience, VIP entry will be available at $25 and will include 2 complimentary beer or wine drinks. Entertainment will be front and center as DJ T Pro Max provides the beats, while dazzling drag divas Velvet Lenore and Rihanna Patron deliver unforgettable performances. More details are available at extremeactionpark.com. Now, I've always been a fan of Xtreme Action Park. I've been to the queer skating event. It's always a fun time for those that have never been before. It's a very welcoming environment. And if you're not very good at skating, there's plenty of video games and there's a bar. So one way or the other, you're going to have a good time.
I was going to say I can't skate to save my life, but there's a bar. That would do.
I was going to say the same thing. I was like, I can't skate. However, I will go watch Velvet Lenore anywhere.
Yeah.
Miss Outis FL, I mean, she's amazing. So, and Rihanna Patron, like, hey, there'll be entertainment. We get to hang out. context of food and drink and watching people fall while they skate. I mean, skate well and yeah, that. Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Pride Skate Night on September 9th at Xtreme Action Park.
Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Alex Morash, and let's queer up politics. JD Vance says he's ready for the presidency. But are we? The concerns about Donald Trump's health are once again making headlines. His swollen ankles, his zigzagging walk, his bruised hand, and his rambling speeches. But fear not, because Vice President JD Vance says he's ready to step in. In an interview with USA Today, Vance declared, quote, "I've gotten a lot out of good on-the-job training over the last 200 days. And if, God forbid, there's a terrible tragedy, I can't think of better on-the-job training than what I've gotten over the last 200 days," end quote. The remarks sparked questions about what exactly Vance has accomplished in those 200 days. Critics point out that his most memorable moments have been scolding others to, quote, "show gratitude." He tried lecturing President Vladimir Zelensky on being more thankful for U.S. aid, even though Zelensky has repeatedly expressed thanks. He also told New York City mayoral candidate Zoran Mamdani, an immigrant from Uganda, to be more appreciative of America. And for queer Americans, the stakes could be even higher. Vance had the record of belittling women and mocking childless people, once suggesting they just keep cats for company. He has aligned himself with anti-LGBTQ forces in the administration, which is already seeking to roll back equality. Defense Secretary Peter Hagus has called for purging queer people from the military, raising disturbing questions about what that would mean if Vance, once rumored to have struggled with his own sexuality, became commander-in-chief. Vance may see a, quote, "terrible tragedy," end quote, as his ticket to the presidency. But critics warn the real tragedy could be what happens if he ever takes the oath of office. You know, I'm not shocked that this discussion is coming in more and more because, you know, as someone who I was very critical of Joe Biden staying in as long, you know, he was 81 when he was president. I thought he was too old to be president. People forget, Donald Trump will be even older when he leaves office. He'll be 82 or 83. He's far too old to maintain being president. He clearly can't handle doing the job anymore. And you can see the speculation. It's just everyone just understanding and acknowledging that, like, Trump, I don't know how long he'll be in there or if he'll just decompose in office, but whatever's going on, it's clearly something's fishy.
And also, I just want to remind everyone who haven't, including Americans who haven't read the Constitution recently, the only qualification to be vice president is that you are breathing. You have a pulse, you can be vice president. There's no actual cabinet portfolio for the vice president. So basically, and so far, we really haven't seen him do much on the policy front. You know, screaming at Mamdani for being ungrateful. I'm sorry. The most patriotic thing to do is to enter public office, to serve the country. This guy is literally trying to serve the largest city in this country. So he is not ungrateful. He's actually being very thankful for the fact that he is living in the United States. And also, the piece forgot to say that Vance also said normal gays will vote for Trump in majority, and we all know how it turned out. We actually voted more for the Democratic Party than any other group.
Oh, I love the writer that talked about that. But you also bring up one other thing. Vance has also talked about not just childless, he considers us willfully childless, and I love being a willfully childless person to upset Vance. But Larry, what's your thought?
Well, you know, looking at his background, he really only had 2 years in the Senate and from Middle America and Ohio. And I can say that only because my parents came from Middle America and Central Pennsylvania before moving to the New York area and New Jersey. So I have a concern that he's going to maybe even become less worldly and less accepting to cater to those types of values. And I'm not generalizing. I mean, we have people in our own community in Ohio.
You're not generalizing at all. I mean, Project 2025 is a thing. They're trying to eliminate this from public discourse.
And for somebody who struggled, whether it was latent homosexuality or not, and the whole thing that came out, Certainly you have to give him something for being open about it. But at the same time, I think we need somebody who is strong in their convictions and they truly represent our entire country, not their own personal interests.
I think that's a key point, that he's strong in with his convictions. Because, President Obama had 2 years or so in the Senate before he became president. But he was strong in his convictions, and I think that really shaped his presidency. So we'll see what happens. Let's hope for the best or worst for Trump.
Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Jason Nunez, and let's queer up entertainment. Ryan Murphy's Monsters returns with Ed Gein's story on Netflix. Netflix is turning up the chills this fall. The streamer has announced the 3rd season of Ryan Murphy's hit anthology series, Monsters, premiering on October 3rd. After exploring Jeffrey Dahmer and the Menendez brothers in its first 2 seasons, this installment will spotlight one of America's most infamous killers, Ed Gein, also known as the Butcher of Plainfield. Gein's crimes in 1950s rural Wisconsin were so disturbing that they inspired Psycho, The Silence of the Lambs, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. According to the show's official logline, quote, "Driven by isolation, psychosis, and all-consuming obsession with his mother, Gein's perverse crimes birthed a new kind of monster that would haunt Hollywood for decades, from Psycho to the Chainsaw Massacre to The Silence of the Lambs. Gein's macabre legacy gave birth to fictional monsters born in his image and ignited a cultural obsession with the criminally deviant. Ed Gein didn't just influence a genre, he became the blueprint for modern horror," end quote. The season will star Charlie Hunnam as Gein. LGBTQ viewers may remember Hunnam's earliest role, Nathan, in the groundbreaking UK series Queer as Folk back in 1999. He later gained fame in Sons of Anarchy and blockbuster films like Pacific Rim. Joining him are Tom Hollander of The White Lotus, Laurie Metcalf from Lady Bird, Joey Polari from Love, Simon, Leslie Manville of Phantom Thread, and Susanna Sun of Fear Street Prom Queen. With this powerhouse cast, Murphy and his longtime collaborators, Ian Brennan, are promising another dark, must-watch season. So, another anthology from Ryan Murphy means another date night for me and my husband. So, we binge-watched Jeffrey Dahmer. That was our date night. The Menendez brothers date night, and now this one. So, we're super excited. Anything that Ryan Murphy does, fan favorite for us. Household name, Pose. That was another one that we were both date night in tune with the entire time. So really looking forward to this. And what's wrong with Netflix and chill?
Yeah. I'm glad that some of the things you enjoy for dates are not just the slashers. I'm like, oh, that's a very romantic date night. It's like, let's watch a slasher.
There are people who legitimately enjoy horror things.
Yes.
I mean, there's a literal Walter Manners horror group on Facebook.
Yes.
That is very true.
And for me, it's just... I've always enjoyed this, and I'm a big fan of Hannibal Lecter and Silence of the Lambs series. So I wonder how this is going to turn out. Although I also wonder on a philosophical level, what does it say about our society when we are so obsessed with crime shows, especially serial killers?
But I think sometimes watching, it takes away some of the mystery, and you want to understand. I guess it depends on your perspective of what you're looking for. I do know, on a lighter note, I love Laurie Metcalf anything. I've always loved her. So I think it's interesting to see her in this genre of movie. Usually she's in comedies and things like that, and I'm glad to see her.
I was taken aback to hear the reference from Nathan from the British version of Queer as Folk. Because when I was like 16-year-old me loved that show because there was no real queer representation with it, and I had such a crush on that actor when he was young and I was young, so that was wonderful to see. But that will be a wonderful thing to see, or a really horrific thing to see, which is probably the point.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Bobby Huen, and let's queer up gay culture. Experts and stars share secrets to better kissing for all ages. It's never too late to learn something new, and when it comes to kissing, the pros say there's always room to up your game. Pride spoke with sexologists, educators, and adult stars about what makes a kiss truly unforgettable. Stella Harris, intimacy educator and author, reminds us, quote, the number one thing you can do to be a better kisser is to get consent. Asking, may I kiss you, in a sexy voice, is a flirtatious turn-on when it's welcome, end quote. Tara Jones, LGBTQ plus sex educator, adds that big, bold moves without asking, like shoving your tongue in, can be a real turnoff. Adult star Guy Spencer agrees and warns, quote, never ever stuck on someone's tongue. I've had guys try to slurp mine down their throat, and it's incredibly painful, end quote. On the flip side, soft lips and slow, relaxed movements are always in. Sophie Roos, a bisexual sexologist, says, quote, try to relax your lips and your tongue. That makes kisses hotter and more natural, end quote. But great kissing doesn't stop there. Expert reminds us that hygiene matters the most. Jacob Ethan Dale put it simply, quote, fresh breath. Make sure your breath is something I'll want to taste, end quote. And Max Lord reminds us not to rush, saying, quote, art takes time to perfect, end quote. So whether you're new to locking lips or a seasoned pro, remember, consent, softness, and fresh breath never goes out of style. I thought consent is basically, required for everything. But no, I don't suddenly grab someone by the head and just shove my tongue down their throat. That seems rude. And also, to those who are unaware, the tongue is attached to the rest of the body. You can't slurp it like a noodle, okay?
Oh my goodness, Bobby. I will say, when dealing with the issues of consent, people are not always taught about that, so I'm glad they bring it up, because people sometimes think, aren't you supposed to know when to kiss or not to kiss, which is awkward. I think about when I was young, and asking a boy that you were so nervous, oh, can I kiss you? And they say yes. It's such young people, you have fun with all that, and don't worry, you're not good at kissing. You won't be good at kissing for at least a few years of it. That's fine. And don't smoke before kissing. The breath thing's important. It smells like cigarettes. It's awful.
Yeah, some people are into that.
Yeah, and always keep your gum or your certs handy, whatever you like.
Yeah, what they have Listerine strips now? You
Yeah,
can put on
those
your
are
tongue.
great. Yeah.
That might help. I don't know for the slurping part, but and just a huge shout out to our producer for spending countless hours trying to find some PG photos for this segment to be able to better tell the story. So thanks, Steve.
Our producers really are saints.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Larry Farver, and let's queer up the USA view. Illinois launches first legal hotline for LGBTQ plus support. Illinois is stepping into the spotlight as the first state in the nation to launch a free legal hotline dedicated to the LGBTQ plus community. The new service, called Illinois Pride Connect, was unveiled by Governor J.B. Pritzker, who framed it as a lifeline at the time of mounting hostility towards LGBTQ Americans nationwide. The hotline provides access to affirming legal resources, a digital hub, and referrals to the healthcare and community services it will operate Monday through Thursday, assisting callers with issues like changing gender markers, accessing healthcare, and securing workplace protections. Pritzker said, quote, Illinois Pride Connect will inform individuals of the rights and connect them to the support, making us the only state in the nation to provide free legal advice and advocacy tools to protect the LGBTQ community, end quote. Joshua Gavel of United Pride called the hotline, quote, a groundbreaking opportunity to receive free, affirming legal support from the comfort and safety of home, end quote. Carolyn Waskog of Youth Outlook praised the initiative for offering, quote, clear, trusted guidance at a time when the rights feel like a moving target, end quote. The hotline launches federal rollbacks as LGBTQ programs are hit hard, including the shutdown of the LGBTQ Youth Suicide Lifeline and cuts to $125 million in health funding. Well, we know about the major hotline cuts. This is great that a state in the Midwest is launching this. I hope that we see other states follow suit. Hopefully there'll be some philanthropy from various sources. As discussed in prior shows, I think we have to rely less on corporate funding and certainly go within. So hopefully there's some benefactors that are allies or within our own community. And let's hope for the best.
And let's hear for governors, blue state governors stepping up when senators and representatives are not stepping up to counter this kind of terror regime of this administration.
No, this is great. Governor Pritzker, he's doing a service that people can actually access and can use. The political philosopher in me, to dust off my old degrees, I always question, why do we even need a legal system that's so complex that you have to get a graduate degree to navigate it? But I can't fix the legal system in one evening, so this is just a really great service. I hope the government does a lot more free legal advice. Like the place that runs the laws don't always like to tell us how the laws are supposed to work. And no, please make it a little bit more accessible. And it's great to see a government doing that.
Yeah, it only takes one. It only takes one to start the movement.
Yes.
And in this time of again, folks are literally trying to erase us. It only takes one to start the movement. And I hope other governors, blue states, or anyone who has a conscience really starts to speak out and create these type of programs and realize that it's life-saving, life-changing programming. It's not just, oh, hey, it's another number, let's get some people jobs. This is literally life-saving resources. So, I hope other states follow through.
Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Alex Morash, and let's queer up entertainment. Wicked for Good teaser casts a spell on fans. Get ready, Oz fans. Wicked for Good has just dropped a brand new teaser, and as the caption boldly declares, you can't resist. Released on Wednesday on social media, the clip whisks viewers back into the magical world of Oz, offering a first look at the much-anticipated sequel to 2024's blockbuster, Wicked. The teaser not only stirs excitement for the beloved song For Good, but also shows how characters like Alphaba, played by Cynthia Erivo, and Linda, portrayed by Ariana Grande, have evolved since the sweeping conclusion of the first film. Joining them once again are Jonathan Bailey as Fiyero and Bowen Yang as Fanny. The film continues its roots in Broadway's smash hit musical, itself adapted by Gregory Maguire's novel. The first chapter traced Alphaba and Linda's journey from school friends to rivals as the forces of fascism tightened their grip on Oz, pushing the two witches to opposite sides of the story. Fans may also notice the playful nod in the teaser echoing a line from Fiyero to Linda, "You can't resist this." With its powerhouse LGBTQ cast, Wicked soared at the Oscars, winning 2 awards and earning nominations for both Erivo and Grande. The sequel, Wicked for Good, soars into theaters on November 21st. I always find Wicked fascinating, and I think in very much it and the original Frank Brahms Wizard of Oz so encapsulate America in its own ways. Brahms' story was about, not a princess, not a boy with magic powers he gets from his bloodline, but an everyday American girl who goes to a land where it's actually all powerful women. The only powerful man is, but he's a charlatan. He's not real, and she's a very no nonsense, cut it out, very old-fashioned American progressivism. And what does America's modern world do with it? They take the character who was a slave owner, committed war crimes, they make her the hero. And they completely undo everything and rework it in a way where I'm like, yes, both sides of the story are completely American in its own way.
Well, supposedly, correct me if I'm wrong, Oz is also Baum's attempts to allegorize the gold standard or whatever it was that was taking place in his time. It was about politics and fiscal policy.
Oh yeah, there's a little bit, I don't know if children would get the gold standard references, but he did do this progressivism. I also have always enjoyed that people don't realize one of the first trans characters ever is Ozma. She starts off as a girl, she's transformed into a boy, she doesn't understand, she doesn't feel like she's right, she becomes a girl again, and she and Dorothy, they have a little bit of chemistry, that's all I'm saying. I'd love to see that in a Wicked adaptation. It's Ozma and Dorothy, have a good time.
Can you imagine the uproar? Oh my lord.
Well, we'll see on November 21st.
Yes.
If that's in there. Wicked for Good. It's already on our calendars. It's been on our calendars since last year. As soon as they announced the date, the soundtrack, it's probably one of the most played on my Spotify playlist, just because I can literally now sing every word when nobody's around. So don't ask me to do karaoke. But looking forward to it. November 21st, it's already a scheduled date night. We'll be there.
Those are today's headlines for Queer News Tonight. These anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ community.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and in sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening L Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your host, Alex Morash, and on behalf of these LGBTQ reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Jason Nunez, Dr. Bobby Huen, and Larry Farver, we will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ world, we hope you will join us by embracing love, generosity, bravery, be transformative, and queer. Good night.